We have another position to talk about here for week 4, so let's get into some quarterbacks that we should start and sit this week. What is going on, Headliners Nation? Hey, before I get into the show, I have a pretty cool offer for you guys. Our friends at FanPix are hooking up all you Fantasy Headliner fans with some freebies. If you sign up now for a free FanPix account, you'll get a $25 voucher for select DFS contests. It's quick, easy, all free, and no deposit is needed. Just go to rotoballer.com/FanPix and use the promo code BALLER25 to sign up. Every Sunday, we'll be hosting our DFS free roll contest called the Magic Million. You'll compete against other viewers and against me also. It's free to enter with cash prizes and no strings attached. You can check out the entire FanPix portfolio of DFS contests, including easy pick games, in-game contests, and so much more. Remember, just head to rotoballer.com/FanPix to claim your free $25 voucher and try to beat me in the Magic Million DFS free roll this week. Lineups lock at 1 p.m. Eastern. Good luck. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there, and we got one position left here for the week. Last but not least, the quarterbacks here for week 4. We're going to get into this list. It's going to be a pretty quick show for you guys. Not a whole lot of depth for a lot of these games. I mean, some of these quarterbacks you know you're not going to start, so I'm not going to waste your time with them. But we're going to go ahead and get into this list here real quick, knock them out, and get ready to set our lineups here for week 4. Starting off Thursday Night Football, we got the Vikings at the Rams. So you got Cousins and Goff. I'm going to start both of these guys in this game, but neither one of them really have that high of a ceiling to me. Kirk Cousins, like I said, I'm going to start him against the Rams. Yes, it's a tough defense. Before last week, what was the one spot that you could exploit against the Rams defense? It was their linebackers, and then they lost their 2 starting cornerbacks in Akeem Talib and Marcus Peters. I do expect Minnesota trying to get back on track, and the Vikings able to throw the ball this week, hopefully with Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, and Adam Thielen starting Kirk Cousins this week. Jared Goff, on the other hand, is another one of those guys who's kind of a safe play. He had a great week last week, probably one of the best games of his entire career. They have a ton of weapons in Los Angeles, and Minnesota can't contain all of them. Any one of those wide receivers can have a big day. You got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Brandon Cooks. Todd Gurley is obviously a stud in the backfield. No reason to sit either one of these guys. I know it's a Thursday night game, and it's hard to start one of these guys. But they're both safe, solid plays, high floor players for me this week. I'm just not looking for one of those high ceiling, huge breakout games. Moving to Sunday now, so you got the Jets at the Jags. First, Sam Darnold against Blake Bortles. Please don't start Sam Darnold or Blake Bortles this week. Darnold going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars is definitely not something you really want to deal with. And on the other side, you got Blake Bortles. And typically, we don't like to deal with Blake Bortles very often. Going to sit both these guys this week. Dolphins and Patriots next, so you got Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady. Now, as soon as I said Ryan Tannehill, you probably just assumed I was going to say sit him. But I'm really not. I would actually start Ryan Tannehill this week. Not a bad game for him to go up against the New England Patriots and a secondary who hasn't really stopped a whole lot of people so far this year. Ryan Tannehill already has 7 touchdowns on the season through 3 games. Yes, some of those came off some of these trick plays they had this past week. But I'm not off the Ryan Tannehill bandwagon. They're not running a whole lot. They're relying on the pass, and I would actually start Ryan Tannehill this week if need be. If you had Cam Newton or Alex Smith, one of the guys who were on a bye week, maybe you had Marcus Mariota and you're sick of dealing with that injury thing. Ryan Tannehill is a good streaming option for the week. Tom Brady on the Patriots side, yeah, they are in some trouble a little bit offensively. Hopefully Josh Gordon gets a chance to play this week. I do think, though, that going forward, the Patriots team are going to start figuring it out. Once Edelman gets there, they get Josh Gordon acclimated, and they can get Sony Michel running the run game. It's the New England Patriots. They're going to come back, and you're not going to sit these guys. If you can tough it out for one more week, another solid week, hopefully maybe for Tom Brady, I'm looking for bigger and better things coming to start next week. But yeah, if you got Tom Brady, you probably don't have a better option, and I'm starting him. Eagles and Titans are next, so you got Carson Wentz in his second game back going up against whoever the Titans want to throw out there. It could be Blaine Gabbert, it could be Marcus Mariota, it could be dude from Section 512. Who knows? I have no idea. I don't even know if they have an idea, but regardless of who it is, they're not starting him. The Eagles on the other hand, Carson Wentz, I told everybody last week, let's give him 1 week. Give him a week back in the game flow, try to get his game timing, his game speed back. And we did that. He looked good in the first quarter, but then kind of struggled later on. I gave him another full week of practice, and I'm starting Carson Wentz this week against the Tennessee Titans. This is where he starts to turn it around and make the Eagles a little bit better. Texans at Colts are next, so you got Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck. Neither one of these guys are really lighting it up on the football field Fantasy-wise, Deshaun Watson's, pretty solid. Andrew Luck still struggling to find his way and his timing. For this week, I'm going to start Deshaun Watson. Yes, that Colts secondary is improved, but Deshaun has some of those intangibles that help him get those extra fantasy points, and he's worth a start almost every week. Andrew Luck, on the other hand, is somebody who I'm a little worried about. I don't expect him to come out and throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every single game, right here off the bat. But the progression still hasn't really been there. He doesn't look horrible by any means. It's just going to take some time. And for that reason, in the time being, I'm going to go ahead and sit Andrew Luck this week. I feel there's better options out there than him going up against the Houston Texans. Bills and Packers are next, so you got Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not really going to sell you on Aaron Rodgers. If you got him, you're probably going to start him. Good news is he's already practicing here midweek in a limited fashion, but that's more than he's done the past couple weeks. That means he's starting to slowly improve. No reason to bench Aaron Rodgers. Josh Allen is a little interesting, though. I mean, it's the Bills, and we made some serious fun of the Bills here in the previous weeks, and then they went out and had a great week last week against the Vikings. I don't know which Bills team is going to show up. Josh Allen did look pretty good, had 3 total touchdowns, including 2 on the ground. The guy's mobile, he can move. Pretty sure he was told to never try to hurdle a defender again, but he's still exciting and fun to watch. He just doesn't have a whole lot of weapons that would make him a surefire weekly start. I'm okay with Josh Allen in like 2 quarterback leagues. I'm not ready to throw him out there yet in a 10-team or 12-team league and have him be my number 1 quarterback for the week. And it's not Josh Allen. It's the amount of weapons that he has around him and which Bills team is going to show up. If they can start putting together a couple good games, couple good weeks, he could slowly move up those rankings. But for right now, I'm going to sit Josh Allen. Lions and Cowboys are next, so Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. Matthew Stafford is almost going to be a weekly must start. He's one of the top 10 to 12 quarterbacks every week. The weapons he has around him, especially now with the emergence of Kerryon Johnson in the run game, is only going to open up the passing game even more. With Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, and Kenny Golladay, this offense could be very explosive on the passing side of the football, and I'm going to start Matthew Stafford. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, is probably somebody who I'm not going to start this week until they can figure out that offense in Dallas. As soon as they can, establish some sort of a running game with Zeke and make it consistent to pull those defenders back into the box and give these receivers on the outside a little bit more single coverage, I'm going to go ahead and sit Dak. I do think they start to turn it around here in Dallas, but it's not going to be this week. Dak's on my bench. Bucks and Bears are next, so I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, I'm hoping it's Ryan Fitzpatrick still. Please don't go put Jameis Winston back in. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been one of the greatest stories here, to start the season, and the dude deserves to keep on playing. Yeah, he had a few more interceptions in the last game, but he's actually made that offense move in Tampa Bay. Despite not having a run game, our defenses know they're going to throw the ball, and he's still throwing for over 400 yards a game. I'm hoping it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it is the Bears defense they're going up, which is one of the best defenses in football. But here's the deal. I got burned last week because I told a few people to sit Fitzpatrick over some safer plays, and the dude still put up fantasy numbers. May not be great looking on the football field for real football, but for fantasy purposes, he was scoring some points. So if you have Ryan Fitzpatrick and he's named the starter, if you don't have a better option on your bench, then yep, I'm firing him up again. I'm trusting in the beard and going with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Mitch Trubisky, on the other hand, I don't think I want a whole lot to do with him. He'll be down a weapon with Anthony Miller. I do expect Taylor Gabriel and Tariq Cohen to be a little bit more involved because of that, and it could lead to a lot more check down passes. That's where Trubisky needs to live. He's not one of these deep, down-the-field gunslingers that's going to go out there and throw for 350 yards a game. He's just not that type of guy. Unless you're in a 2-quarterback league, I'm benching Mitch Trubisky. Bengals and Falcons are next, so Andy Dalton and Matt Ryan, and I'm starting both of these guys this week. I don't think there's a whole lot of defense to be played here. Now, Andy Dalton should be able to pick apart whoever is playing defense for the Atlanta Falcons. Who knows who it's going to be at this time, down both their safeties. Dalton's thrown for at least 2 touchdowns in every game so far this season. Yes, he had a few interceptions last week, but at least they're throwing the ball. I don't expect Joe Mixon to play this week again, obviously, so Gio Bernard will be in the backfield. As long as A.J. Green is healthy and out there on the field, which it sounds like he will be, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot in Cincinnati, and I like Andy Dalton. Matt Ryan had 5 touchdowns last week, and all of a sudden, Calvin Ridley looks like the second coming of Calvin Johnson. And as long as that duo was out there with Ridley and Julio, they still got Mohamed Sanu, Tevin Coleman, waiting on Devontae Freeman to come back. It's an explosive offense in Atlanta, and the defense in Cincinnati is not going to be able to stop them for all 4 quarters. I do expect them to throw a lot there also. Huge potential for a shootout here, and I'm starting both of these guys. Seahawks and Cardinals are next, so you have Russell Wilson and now the Josh Rosen era in Arizona. This may be one of the ugliest games of the week, to watch. It may not be too pretty. I'm going to start Russell Wilson. This defense for Arizona is absolutely horrible, and Doug Baldwin is actually starting to practice again. Now, does he play a whole lot this week? I highly doubt it, and if he does, it'll be in a limited fashion. But the weapons will start coming back for Russell Wilson, and it's something that's only going to benefit him. Tyler Lockett, Brandon Marshall, hit and miss at best. Will Dissly is still Will Dissly, but Russell's getting his weapons slowly back, and especially against the Arizona Cardinals, who couldn't stop the high school team up the street. I'm starting Russell Wilson. As far as Josh Rosen goes, it's his first career NFL start, and Lord, please let it be better than his first NFL action of last week in the fourth quarter. The guy wasn't put in a very good situation. I hope it didn't just go out there and wreck his confidence in himself, because that was ugly. It was horrible looking, interception after interception, blown coverages, crappy play calling, whatever it is. I'm not jumping on the Josh Rosen bandwagon anytime soon. To me, he's no Baker Mayfield. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, let's talk about the Browns and the Raiders. So you got Baker Mayfield against Derek Carr. I'm starting Baker Mayfield this week. You saw it last week. When he came into the game, the offense was energized. It was explosive. It was down the field. It wasn't boring to watch. Open up the run game with Carlos Hyde. I'm starting Baker Mayfield. He's going to have the opportunity to come in here and put up some big numbers with some big weapons there on the offensive side of the football. And I'm excited to actually watch a Browns game this week. For the Raiders, I'm not as excited, really. I mean, Derek Carr will go out there and look like an all-pro quarterback in one series. And then he'll come out the next series and look like he's never played quarterback before. I just don't know which one you're going to get. Amari Cooper is, inconsistent. Jordy Nelson is inconsistent. I mean, who do you trust there? Marshawn Lynch has probably been the most trustworthy piece in that offense, and the Browns' defense is much improved. I'm going to sit Derek Carr this week. Saints and Giants are next. So you got Drew Brees and Eli. I look like I eat crayons Manning in this game. Starting it off with Drew Brees. If you got him, you're starting him. I know the majority of this offense goes through two players. It's really Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, but I really look for Ben Watson and maybe even Cameron Meredith to slowly start taking a step forward in this offense to help open things up. Kamara had 20-plus targets. Michael Thomas is off to the greatest, 3-game start of any wide receiver in history. The offense is fun to watch. If you got Drew Brees, you're starting Drew Brees. Eli Manning, on the other hand, is somebody who's very inconsistent. However, the Saints haven't really proven that they can stop anybody this year, and they're giving up all kinds of points and yardage also. Eli Manning is down his tight end. Evan Ingram is not playing. That opens things up on the outside for Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham. Still got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and they're going to have to throw this week. There's no way they're going to run Saquon Barkley all game and beat the Saints. It's not going to happen. They don't want the clock to run that much this week. They're going to have to keep pace. With that being said, they're going to have to throw the ball more. Is Eli Manning a lock for a top 10 to 12 start? No. But if you're looking for a streaming option and there's no better option, I do expect a decent game from Eli Manning. I'm just not reliant on him. If you got to play him, he's not the worst option out there. I'll tell you that. Niners and Chargers are next, and now this is the C.J. Beathard-led 49ers and the Phillip Rivers-led Los Angeles Chargers. This one is kind of obvious to me. Please don't even think of picking up C.J. Beathard, much less starting him. It's not worth it. Maybe for George Kittle, and that's about it. On the Chargers side of the football, yes, you're going to start Phillip Rivers this week. It's a great offense. I know Keenan Allen is banged up, but until we get more information on the extent of his knee injury, I'm not too worried about that offense. If anything, that boosts the value of Mike Williams this week. And yeah, I'm definitely starting Phillip Rivers against the 49ers. Sunday Night Football, you got the Ravens at the Steelers, and we're talking about Joe Flacco and Big Ben Cheeseless Burger. For Joe Flacco, I'm starting him this week. Am I a huge Joe Flacco fan? Absolutely not. But he does have weapons to throw to this year, and the Pittsburgh defense is what you would call not good. So yeah, definitely starting Joe Flacco this week. Big Ben hasn't thrown for less than 330 yards in a game this year. Because their defense is so bad, they're forced to throw the ball continually. Definitely starting Big Ben also this week, especially since it's a home game, and he plays better at home. Monday Night Football, now you got the Chiefs at the Broncos, so we're starting with Patrick Mahomes and Case Keenum. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes was playing up against the AFC All-Pro team. I'm starting Patrick Mahomes every single week. I don't care. Case Keenum, on the other hand, is somebody who has a decent matchup this week. They're going to have to throw the ball in Denver to even have a remote opportunity to beat the team of Kansas City. They're going to have to throw it a lot. They can't turn it around and hand the ball off and expect to keep pace. Hopefully Philip Lindsay doesn't bring his boxing gloves this week, because he is somebody who could be utilized a lot this week out of the passing game. I love Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas also, and Case Keenum is somebody who have himself one of those garbage point type games and help you here. Is he a slam dunk? No. But if you're looking for an option and he's the only one available, I wouldn't be totally worried to start Case Keenum. So those are the quarterback matchups here for week 4. I really appreciate the support. Channel is still growing like crazy, having fun, having a blast, trying to get in here to do a live stream with you guys, to do some live Q&A. Haven't had a chance to do that here in a week or so. Looking forward to it. Really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. And yeah, let's go. Week 4, I'm ready to go. Hopefully your lineups are set. If not, hit us up down below. The community that we've grown here is here to help you out. And we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.